If you're a burnt out entrepreneur, this is exactly how to have consistent, unstoppable energy on a consistent, regular basis. And it comes down to 5 key elements in your body chemistry to have consistent energy. So just like a car engine, what I want to kind of use as an analogy here, the car has certain elements in order for it to work, mainly the engine. And so if we look at the first big important one, which is the pistons. Now, just caveat here, I am not a mechanic, I'm a doctor, so be patient with me, but pistons are really what get the car moving and going on a regular basis. So pistons represent something that's very important in the body chemistry, which is the mitochondria. The mitochondria is what produces energy. Just like pistons that get the car moving, produces the energy, mitochondria is what produces ATP. And that is what produces energy throughout all our cells in our system. And if that is low and depleted, good luck on having that consistent energy that you need. Now, the second thing that has to be on a consistent, regular basis to get this to work is the car needs to get fired. So when the fuel goes in, then something has to trigger it. And that is what the spark plugs are for. So these spark plugs are represented by, in our body chemistry, is neurotransmitters. So neurotransmitters are what ignites our energy, and that usually comes down to some very key different neurotransmitters, such as serotonin, dopamine, and GABA. If these are not firing consistently, good luck having consistent energy and having the motivation to even getting projects done or even getting your day started. And then in order for the car to accelerate and move, this is where the gas pedal is needed. And you can control how fast you want it to go and to move. So in the body, the third element in our biochemistry that we need to be regulating, whereas the gas pedal would represent hormones and specifically our adrenals. Now, the thing I have to tell you here is anytime I test somebody and look at their adrenal functionality, it is completely shot. In fact, about 92% of the people that we do test for, we will see that their cortisol levels that are supposed to be more consistent like this, very high in the morning, and then it's supposed to start to decrease throughout the day. But for most people that we test, we will see that it's low and then maybe it might spike in the middle of the night and then go back down. Or it could be just all over the place. And this is why it's so important to test to see, okay, cortisol is what gives us energy. And that's what gives us the gas pedal to move forward, to give us consistent energy on a regular basis. Now, I know I talked about a lot of different things that you can test for. So if you want, you could download my free full entrepreneur lab guide that I give to all my entrepreneur patients. So you can get that in the description below that goes over all the list of labs that are going to help you have more increased energy and motivation and drive. Now, the next thing that's really important for a car is that it needs consistent fuel and airflow to happen in order to work properly. Because if the air system, the exhaust pipes, the airflow, and also fuel storage, if it's blocked or clogged, that car is not going to work and function very well. Same goes with our body to have consistent energy, and this represents is oxygen and blood sugar. Now, why is this so vital is because the brain and many parts of the organs of our body need oxygen and consistent blood sugar in order to function. It's our fuel source, and when that's depleted or our arteries are clogged or things are not working properly or all these different things are not working succinctly, then this is where we start having an issue of energy output. In fact, when you have your blood sugar levels, so let's say if they're just like up and down, your energy is up and down consistently. So you maybe experience that, and that has to do a lot with the blood sugar and the oxygen that you're receiving in your blood vessels to your brain. And this is usually due to some key things, and typically that's going to be things like iron and also vitamin B12, or some of the 2Q things that we want to test for to see are those at an adequate amount, or are we seeing that deficient, and that's also making an issue with your energy output. The next really important thing when it comes to a car is the radiator, the coolant system. So the coolant system is what keeps things cool. If it overheats, then guess what? The engine blows up, then everything just falls apart. Same with the energy output in your body. And so what this would represent is 2 things that are so vital that people don't think much about it, but that is hydration and electrolytes. There's been research that has shown that when you're dehydrated for a couple hours, your focus and drive and energy decreases at 50% capacity. Same when your electrolytes. When it comes to hydration, you need both electrolytes to penetrate the cells, to hydrate the cells, and you need to keep on a consistent basis with liquids. And so it's good to test for things like sodium, potassium, magnesium. If you're deficient on these are the important electrolytes that you need to keep your body system more modulated on a regular basis, just like how a car relies on a coolant system. Now, if you need help with understanding and running these different types of labs and understanding why you're having the issues and identify the root cause, then you could just book a diagnostic assessment with me. I'm going to dive deep into your medical history of the biggest bottleneck in your business. And that's because if you don't have energy or drive, then you are the bottleneck to your business. And that's why you're having issues of scaling it to the next level. So like I said, there's 5 core elements. You have to make sure that your mitochondria levels are adequate to have producing the energy. Then you need a consistent balance of your different neurotransmitters, such as serotonin, dopamine, and GABA. And then your hormones that really deal with the acceleration of your energy, of how much you need and output of it. That has to do with your adrenals and also the different hormones. And then the oxygen and blood sugar balance has to be adequate so that you don't have this yo-yo effect of your different energy. And then lastly, keeping yourself hydrated and having adequate amount of electrolytes to keeping your body modulated to having that consistent energy. But to truly understand the whole different labs that you need to do, especially as a burnout entrepreneur, then you should watch this video next where I dive in deep, going over case studies of me going over these labs and what to do to help improve your energy levels. So watch this video next.